Hello, Rebecca Martinez here, Communications Director for the Placer Artists Tour. This video offers my two #1 tips for applying to the tour. Yeah, you heard me right. I have two #1 tips. The first one, the absolute #1, is to begin your application process well in advance of the deadline. You wait until the last minute and there's some sort of techno glitch, you might not choose your best work, or you could even possibly miss the deadline, and techno glitches do happen. My other #1 tip is to gather your text and images before beginning the application process in one easy to find place. I usually create a folder on my desktop so I can go straight to them and grab them. And I'll show you how to do that in a couple of minutes. Once again this year, the application process must be completed in one sitting. You can't begin the process, stop, leave, come back and resume the process. If you do leave, you'll have to start over. Okay, here's the page that you'll be starting on. And this is a good page to go ahead and look at everything, review all of the things that you're going to need. There's a list of frequently asked questions, which outlines what the tour planners and the artists expect from each other. Here, there is also your agreement, which must be completed, and your fee paid. There's going to be a link here before you proceed to the actual application. This is short and easy to do. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to create that folder on my desktop. I'm going to right-click or option-click on my desktop. I'm going to come over here to Folder, select a new folder. I will name it something easy to find. In this case, I'm going to name it Cat. And now I have a folder where I can put my folders and my text files that I'm going to be using. I'm going to go ahead and throw that one away because I already have one here that has all my pieces in it. If you have a Mac and your Macintosh came with the program Preview, or you have a PC and your PC came with the program Photos, and those two programs do come standard on those two platforms, you have everything you need to edit, that is, resize and rename your images. If you have a more sophisticated program like Photoshop, you can use that, but I don't recommend going out and buying a program just to do this. You should have what you need. So what I'm going to do to start, I'm on my PC right now. I'm going to open this image, RDMTZ Studio 2021, by right-clicking or option-clicking. And I'm going to select the program that I want to open it with. I want to open it with Photos, as I just mentioned. And here is my image. It's important to keep your images fresh and up to date. So it's nice to use a recent image that will keep people interested year after year. The first thing I'm going to do is select the Tools icon, which is this rectangle with the pencil through it. And that will bring up my image with these crop lines on it. Now this is set to crop at a 3:4 ratio, or it's actually just set to crop free. What I'm going to do is come down here to the aspect ratio icon. Let's say I was going to use it as a tour guide image and I wanted to crop it square. I would select the square ratio and you can see that it crops this image to square. I wouldn't really want to crop right through my eyeballs. So I would scoot that on down and place it right about there. Now it's time for me to save. I'm going to come over here to save as a copy because I do want to rename it. The naming protocol, which is very important, is last name first, then first name, name of the image. And if this was for the guide, I would add the word guide, and that lets the designer know that you want to use this image for the guide. It must be square. If it's not square, it will be cropped square. So your best bet is to crop it just the way you want it before submitting it. I will save this right in that folder. Great. Now let's just go ahead and check the image size on this. I have a feeling it might be a little bit big. I'm going to come over here to the 3 dots. And I'm going to resize my image. Okay, this image is 3024 pixels wide and 3024 pixels tall. I really only need it to be 1500 pixels. One note about changing the resolution size of your image, it's totally safe to go down, to take this number down lower, but you may not take it up. If you do take it up, the program will let you take it up, but you'll pixelate your image and it will be unsuitable for use in the guide. So just remember, you can't go up, you can only come down. I'm going to come down to 1500. And since I have this maintain aspect ratio link selected, it also changes the height to 1500. I want to choose a high quality. I'm going to go up to 100 and I'm going to save this. I have my name in place, so I will overwrite that file. I'll say, yes, I do want to overwrite it. And I'm done. My file is ready to go. We're going to go ahead and right-click this. We're going to open with Preview, and here's my image. I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to choose the rectangular selection. And I think this is where I want to start cropping. So to make this image square, I'm going to hold down the Shift key while I drag the mouse, and that will constrain this image to being, this crop to being square. Okay, and I think I want to crop it right about there. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to Tools, go to Crop, and there we go. I have my square image. Now, the next thing I'll want to do is rename the image. This is actually going to replace the name on my image. It's not going to make a copy of my image. Unlike the PC, this is going to change the actual name of this only image that I have to work with. And don't forget, if you change your mind about what you've done, there is an undo button under the edit, or you can close it without saving it, except until you name it. Okay, I'm going to put my last name first. That is the naming protocol. And then I'm going to call this collage and name it JPEG. I'm saving it right back in that folder where I found it. And I've just renamed my image. Now let's look at the sizing. Go back up to your tools. I'm going to adjust the size. And in this area, I want to make sure that I'm working in pixels. My new image, since it's been cropped, remember it was over 3,000 before, now it's just 2,406 square. Both of these are the same. I'm not going to bother with changing the pixels. That's not really important. I do want to resample my image, and I do want to scale it proportionately. And remember, I only want to go down on these numbers, not up. I could go to 1,500, but I think I'm going to give them just a little bit extra. I'm going to take it to 2,000. Okay, and there you have it. I can go ahead and save this just to make sure. And my image has been resized. So here we are back at the application. And once you have filled out the artist agreement and paid your fee, you'll be given a link to the actual application, which is this page. And please note there are lots of resources for you to use. There are some written documents that you can print out and keep with you so that you know what you're doing as you submit the application. Now I'll show you how to cut and paste your artist statement or artist story in the appropriate place on the application. Opening my folder on my desktop, and I'm going to open my artist statement. Here it is. So I highlight the area that I want to put into the application. Right click or option click, copy. Let's close this window now. Go to the application, and I'm assuming that you will have filled in your information, first name, your images, you've uploaded your images. Here I am at artist statement. And I'm going to place the cursor, right click or option click, and paste. Now my statement is pasted into the proper form. That's it. Getting high quality photos can be tricky without a professional lighting setup. If you have any reservations about the quality of your photos, please invest a little bit of time, money is not very expensive, by hiring one of the photographers who have very kindly offered to take pictures for the tour. Susan Stoll is one of those photographers, and you can reach out to her. She has a couple of photo dates scheduled already, and those are shown in the artist calendar. Let's just go to the artist calendar right now. Okay, this calendar will be updated. It might change format, but this is the calendar that is set up just for the artists to as a resource so that you can keep track of the dates, important dates. I have it sorted right now by date, but if you wanted to sort it in a different way, if you wanted to sort it by activity, you could do that. I like to have it sorted by date. Following are some examples of photos, good and bad, with comments.
One very important tip, and that is your photos. Now, if you are at all unsure about the quality of your photos, I urge you to go ahead and make an appointment with one of the photographers in the list that will be provided on the website. It's important, especially if you're an emerging artist and you haven't done this before, to make a wonderful presentation to potential tour goers. You want to entice them to come and visit your studio and meet you. Only JPEG files are accepted for this application. That's very important. If your images don't meet the requirements, they'll be kicked back and you'll be asked to resubmit, which is not the end of the world, but it is a little bit tedious to go back and find your images or whatever. All right, now
That's it. If you have questions, please reach out to me at admin@placerartisttour.org, and I look forward to seeing you on the tour.